Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and well, today we're finally doing the breakdown of the Walking with Dinosaurs 2025 trailer. Some things came up earlier, so I wasn't able to do it earlier, so I apologize for this video coming out so late. But anyways, let's actually jump into this video, since this trailer has a lot of interesting things. So, pretty much it starts off with some paleontologists in the field, and it starts with them digging up some fossils, and then it eventually cuts over to some Asdarchids flying over a marshy terrain. I believe this is from the episode that takes place in the Horseshoe Canyon formation, or it could be the one from the Head Creek. Don't know, either one of those. Either way, we have this scene of some Edmontosaurus walking through a nice kind of floodplain foresty area. Actually looks very similar to wherever they filmed the Walking with Dinosaurs 2013, I believe, Walking with Dinosaurs 3D movie. Anyways, we can't see them too good, but we'll see them later a little bit better. We have 66 million years later, and it has a sauropod walk in the background. Ironically, most of these episodes take place late Cretaceous, and this is the only Jurassic episode, at least that we know of so far, and I think this is actually from the Jurassic episode, so it's kind of funny that it happened on this slide. Anyways, we get to see Spinosaurus with the baby Spinosaurus riding on the back, well, the baby Spinosaurus riding on the back of the adult Spinosaurus. We don't get to see it too well here, but we'll see it better in a second. We also get to see the baby triceratops, which looks pretty interesting. It looks really similar to the Prehistoric Planet one. I think I prefer the Prehistoric Planet design over this one. That's the thing with this documentary. I kind of wish that they had more episodes taking place in places that didn't just happen in Prehistoric Planet, so that, again, there's less to compare it to. It just generally feels, it just feels a little bit different. It's a shame they cut out the Triassic episode, and I know we have one episode that's still not confirmed, but we know it's not a Triassic episode, which really sucks. Hoping a marine reptile or a Jurassic episode, but we'll talk about that more in a second. But anyway, the Triceratops looks pretty decent. We also get to see the Albertosaurus, which is actually growing out of Pachyrhinosaurus, and the Albertosaurus looks great. Again, I don't think Albertosaurus was actually in Prehistoric Planet, so it's not really, you can't really compare it to that. And for an Albertosaurus design, I think it's pretty solid. I actually quite like it. Then we have this guy. This is probably one of my favorites. This is Gastonia, and honestly, it looks great. Again, another species that isn't in Prehistoric Planet, mainly because it didn't live there in the time the documentary is set. So it's nice to finally get to see Gastonia in media in general, because the only thing I can think of Gastonia being in is like Jurassic Fight Club, which, poor Gastonia, what a shame. And then also Dinosaur King. It didn't even appear in the anime. It was only in the arcade and TCG and stuff. So yeah, but this Gastonia looks great. One of my favorites of the documentary. Then we have the Pachyrhinosaurus again. I'm going to say it now, I'm not the biggest fan of the Horseshoe Canyon episode already. I guess we literally just went here in the last piece of like Walking with media to come out, which was Walking with Dinosaurs in the movie. And then we just went here Prehistoric Planet, and I just generally wish that we could have used this episode somewhere else. Again, watch my rewrite video to see how I rewrite the series and like how the episodes take place. But for what it is, the Pachyrhinosaurus look pretty solid. They also look very different from the Prehistoric Planet ones, and these guys look actually pretty slender, while the Prehistoric Planet ones look really bulky. But yeah. Now we have the Luca Titan, which, this is the first time inflatable sacks are on a sauropod, or any dinosaur in general, in like media recently, that doesn't look bad. Prehistoric Planet Dreadnoughtus was pretty decent, but like, the Dino Dex Centaurosaurus and whatever the heck that thing is from Rebirth are both absolutely abysmal interpretations of sauropods with inflatable sacks. This one, at least, it looks a little bit goofy, though. Display features often do like that. It also doesn't completely ruin the design. Like, it looks a little bit goofy when the inflatable sacks are inflated, but when they're not, honestly, it just looks like a regular sauropod, so it looks pretty good. Also, they're in a reasonable area. Like, instead of building a whole entire keratinous, like, whatever the heck beehive on top of your head, it makes sense that they actually just kind of put them into the skull where they fit. So, yeah, I think they look pretty nice on the Luca Titan. Then we have a scene where it's flipping through different scenery. It's kind of like this marsh, foresty area. And then a less marsh, but more foresty area. Then there's a deserty area, which I think is the Luca Titan episode. The foresty area, I think, is the Cedar Mountain Formation episode. And the jungly one, I'm guessing, is the last episode in the Head Creek. So, yeah. And then this kind of lightning-y one, I think, is the episode in the Horseshoe Canyon episode, since I'll tell you why in a second. But, yeah. Anyways, we have a proto Pachyrhinosaurus walking by with another Asdarchid, which probably is going to be an unnamed Asdarchid, though. Maybe it could be Cryodraken. I actually don't know, because I don't know if this animal actually lived in this formation. But it could be Cryodraken, because I know it lived up north during late Cretaceous. So maybe, but take that with a grain of salt. Anyways, we have Pachyrhinosaurus, which again, I think the design looks pretty decent. And they do seem to have some patterns, which we'll see in a second, that actually do kind of look similar to the Walking with Dinosaurs 3D design. But yeah, we have the whole scene of the herd again walking by a cliff. Then again, we can see see two about to headbutt each other, but you can see the colors actually kind of look similar to the Walking with Dinosaurs, like the one on the left, I think. Yeah, the left. Again, it's a suck at directions. Anyways, the one on the left No, the right. Okay, I don't know. The one on the side where it says Walking with Dinosaurs on the top. That one kind of looks similar to Scowler, and the other one kind of looks a little bit more similar to Patchy, and the other one is just, again, looks similar to the Walking with Dinosaurs 3D one. Not perfect, but still looks similar. Then we have the I believe these are the Gastonia again. Again, it's kind of weird to see, kind of hard to say by the head, but I think it is the Gastonia again. And, yeah, it looks really nice. And then we have the baby Triceratops headbutting an adult Triceratops. Here's the adult Triceratops. When I first saw this, I was not a big fan of it. It kind of looked like that one early 2000s Triceratops design that was passed around a lot of documentaries. One off the top of my head is Prehistoric and Dinosaurs Decorated. That Triceratops, it kind of looked like just a more updated version of that model. But when we see it again, we'll see it looks better. And also, here's the baby Triceratops. Also looks pretty solid. Then we have these Titanosaurs. I still am not 100% sure where this one takes place. I'm guessing this takes place, this is either some sort of sauropod from the Kim Kim bed, so I'm guessing maybe paralititan, or it's in a new episode, which I'm assuming takes place in South America. Maybe that could be the last 6th episode. Theories is it might be Argentinosaurus, so maybe we could see Mapusaurus in this episode, or it could be, well, I'm actually not 100% sure which Titanosaurs live with Giganotosaurs, but I know there were some. But, yeah, it'd be cool if we saw the trio of large theropods. But yeah, this sauropod design looks nice. One thing I do have to give credit to this documentary is that I like the sauropod designs way better than the Prehistoric Planet ones. There's just something about the Prehistoric Planet sauropods that just looked off. Not all of them, but like the Alamosaurus, for example, and a few other ones just looked off, and I just was not a big fan of their designs. But here, I really like the design. They just look really, really good. Anyways, we have the Albertosaurus. Again, looking nice. This is the first dinosaur, one of the first dinosaurs we saw the design for, and it's actually grabbing it as dark it out of the air. Then we have the Lusotitan fighting. I'm guessing these are 2 males fighting for a mate. But, yeah, these look pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, this kind of looks like a dinosaur out of Dino Dex with the colorations. Then we have the 2 Spinosauruses kind of showing off or fighting. Then we have this scene, which I believe that this is a claw of Spinosaurus. And I believe that is a very non-Spinosaurus-shaped animal. I kind of see the symbol. I'm going to get to what I think that theropod is in a second. Assuming this claw is Spinosaurus. Okay, something interesting. You can kind of see two kind of pillar-like things in the back. I think those are the legs of a dead sauropod. I think this hand right here belongs to Spinosaurus since it has the very enlarged claw. And I think that theropod back there is Carcharodontosaurus. Man, I was really hoping Carcharodontosaurus would appear in this documentary, and I'm pretty sure this is it. I am absolutely hyped to see my boy Carcharodontosaurus in something. So whatever, this may not be the Spinosaurus' hand. If it's not, then then this episode may take place in South America. It could be a Mapusaurus or a Giganotosaurus, but just seeing that, I'm assuming this is a Spinosaurus' hand. I'm guessing that sauropod's paralititan, and I'm guessing that theropod is Carcharodontosaurus. I'm super hyped. The Utahraptor design. I know I said I wanted to see the colors of like the past designs for the dinosaurs to come back. Utahraptor is like the only exception. I like the Walking with Dinosaurs Utahraptor, but I just don't think the colors work the best on an actual feathered raptor model. The coloration they picked for this one looks great, and I actually really love the Utahraptor. Also one of my favorites from this documentary so far. Then we have another scene of a different Utahraptor with kind of some. I'm guessing this is a female one since it doesn't have the bright red colors. But then we also see the Gastonia standing here with kind of like it. Actually, the Gastonia just looks really nice, and it just whacks it in the face. Anyways, we have the pterosaur, which I'm going to talk about in a second, kind of hunting the baby Triceratops. A lot of people have been suggesting that this pterosaur is Infernodraken. Which, okay, I don't think it's Infernodraken. It definitely could be since it is related to Quetzalcoatlus and looks very similar and is from a similar location. Anyways, the reason why I don't think it's an Infernodraken is mainly because that species was just described like a few weeks ago. I feel like it's a bit soon for them to already be including it into this documentary. Another thing is, like, I just see this being just, well, Quetzalcoatlus, maybe Quetzalcoatlus northropi, which, again, it's too big for northropi, but, same for Infernodraken. Like, assuming that it is almost the height of a T-Rex, like, probably like the lower jaw of a T-Rex, I'm pretty sure that's a little bit too tall to be Infernodraken, especially with the size estimates I've seen for it. So, either way, it's probably just like a smaller Quetzalcoatlus individual, or it could be a really large Infernodraken individual. It could be either, just I think it's a little bit more likely to be Quetzalcoatlus, though. I'm not saying that it's not Infernodraken. Anyways, we have the Pachyrhinosaurus, and again, the reason why I saw that kind of background was for the Horseshoe Canyon episode is because the Pachyrhinosaurus are kind of on like a lightning-y background, so similar to the other image. But anyways, we have Edmontosaurus, and all I'm going to say, this is definitely not my favorite Edmontosaurus. Leagues better than the life on our planet what am I doing? Anyways, leagues better than the life on our planet Edmontosaurus. That thing was absolutely horrendous. But I think I prefer the Amazing Dino World and the Prehistoric Planet Edmontosaurus over this one. Anyways, we do get to see it get attacked by a Albertosaurus, but yeah, again, just not my favorite model. We do get to see it later, and I think it looks a little bit better there. Just I think something about the mouth just looks off here, and the crest, and just the general head just looks off. Then we have the Utahraptors fleeing from a fire alongside the Gastonia, also fleeing from the fire. They also look great. And again, the Gastonia, here's another angle from the front. I just absolutely love this thing's model. It looks absolutely wonderful. Then we have two sauropods. I'm assuming these are the Lusotitans, just kind of feeding on a cliffside. Then we have a Spinosaurus, kind of just with the baby Spinosaurus following the adult. Then we have the scene of the adult Spinosaurus sleeping with the baby Spinosaurus, and it's like we literally have just two of them just kind of laying on their stomach. One of them's laying by the adult's hand, and then the other one's just laying on its back, just with its arms and legs pinned back. Like, I don't know how comfortable that is, but I'm guessing it's comfortable if the Spinosaurus is laying that way. Also, this scene where you can see its face looks absolutely adorable. Love the baby Spinosauruses. Then we have these two Albertosauruses, which I thought were going to get into a fight, but it doesn't seem like it. They're rubbing their faces against each other, so like embracing each other. But again, the Albertosauruses look pretty nice. Pachyrhinosaurus, not my favorite. I think this is going to be kind of like a Battle of the Big Owl situation for the episode taking place in the Horseshoe Canyon Formation. Since we focused on Pachyrhinosaurus in the movie, I think we're going to be focusing on Albertosaurus this time. Again, still not my favorite, but at least the Albertosaurus designs I think do look really nice. So I don't mind focusing on them. The Pachyrhinosaurus just look a little bit boring to me. And again, we kind of just focused on them. Would like to see some new stuff. Again, I think I would still take another episode over this one. I feel like if we got like one set in the early, like I think we still, again, we have one episode not revealed yet. I think that's going to be an early Jurassic episode, but I would have taken a Triassic episode than having like another Cretaceous episode in a formation we've been 1,000 times. But for what we got, it still does look great. Then we have the Lusotitans, look pretty solid. They look very similar to Brachiosaurus, but yeah, they look pretty solid. I would have actually guessed that these were Brachiosauruses or Giraffetitans if we didn't know they were Lusotitans already. Okay, just kind of wanted to quickly add this in since I forgot to include it. But we also get to see the Edmontosauruses, and I think they look much better in this scene. Still not my favorite Edmontosaurus in media, but it looks much better. Also, sorry if the audio is off at this part. I had to record off my computer. Anyways, moving on to the next image. But yeah, we have the Utahraptor. This is just one of the best images ever. But this is a nice Utahraptor image. Then we have it getting whacked in the face by the Gastonia. Then we have two Spinosauruses fighting, and the Spinosaurus just dropped something, which I don't think I showed yet, so I'm not going to spoil it, but it dropped a fish. We'll just leave it at that. Then we see the Triceratops actually facing off against the T-Rex. I originally did not like the Triceratops design, because it just like looked really bland, but now seeing this one, at least with some colors on the frill, looks a little bit better. Still don't know if I would say it's better than the Prehistoric Planet one, but I think I would need to see it a little bit more. But yeah, it looks nice for what it is. Then we have this guy. Most people are just like, what, it's a sawfish. But it's not any sawfish. It's onchopristis. If you don't know what onchopristis is, it's like a giant 20-foot sawfish. Anyways, it gets eaten by the Spinosaurus, and this was the fish that was dropped earlier in the fight. Then we have this pterosaur, this adds dark, and I'm going to just call it quetzalcoatlus. I think it's a quetzalcoatlus. And again, it doesn't look that short compared to the T-Rex. It's like the same height as it. But yeah, the T-Rex looks pretty solid. I hear a lot of people saying that they don't like the T-Rex design. But personally, I still like it. Though maybe my brain's fried from, rebirth. But yeah, again, it doesn't, now looking at this design, it definitely does not look like they completely reused the original Walking with Dinosaurs colors like I originally thought. But it does look very similar. In fact, it kind of looks like what a Dinosaur Revolution Tarvosaurus. Or Torvosaurus, yeah, Torvosaurus. It kind of looks like those colors kind of slightly mixed with the Walking with Dinosaurs colors, but yeah, it's nice. I think they definitely took some inspiration from the original Walking with Dinosaurs colors from these. One thing that does have me worried is this thing looks like it's kind of standing upright, which is weird. I'm going to definitely need to see this T-Rex more, but the head, in my opinion, looks great. And then we have it about to bite the Quetzalcoatlus' head off. Anyways, that is the new Walking with Dinosaurs. Generally, it looks amazing. The dinosaurs look great. A little bit disappointed in the episode choices. Again, there is one episode we haven't got it revealed. I'm hoping that is at least, I'm guessing that episode, okay, I'm kind of lumping, yeah, I'm guessing the episode that we have not had revealed is either going to be the Cayente Formation, which is early Jurassic, North America with Dilophosaurus. That's one of my guesses because we don't have a Triassic episode. I think that would be a pretty decent place to start. I think it could also be a South America episode. Assuming that hand is not from Spinosaurus, then I'm guessing we're focusing on either Argentinosaurus and Mapusaurus or Giganotosaurus and some other large theropod. Though I do think that is from the Kim Bed's episode, so I think that is going to be carcharodontosaurus and Spinosaurus and probably paralititan. So yeah, I generally think it's going to be one of those, or I think it's going to be a marine reptile episode. Because I guess it could be a pterosaur episode, but it seems like pterosaurs are going to be heavily featured in the episode for the Heck Creek Formation and the and the not Cedar Mountain, the Horseshoe Canyon Formation. So I could definitely, since we have no marine reptiles anywhere, I could see them definitely doing a marine reptile episode there. I guess it won't be the end of the world. There's no marine reptiles since Prehistoric Planet focused on mosasaurs really heavily. But it'd still be nice to see like a more up to date ichthyosaur or a more up to date pliosaur or something interesting. It could also be an Australian episode, maybe like mid early Cretaceous Australia with maybe like Australovenator. That would be great. Or even with the Eomangasi and just be an unnamed Megaraptor. I think we're Australovenator around with the Eomangasi. I don't know. Maybe Eomangasi would episode be pretty cool with like Chronosaurus, some Plesiosaurus, some Ichthyosaurus. Would be another Cretaceous episode, but at least it'd be kind of earlier Cretaceous. Again, do wish that they would have spaced these episodes out time-wise a little bit better. Again, watch my rewrite video if you want to see how I would have rewritten the series. But again, this looks great. I actually love every single dinosaur design. Outside of, like, I basically like every design, and, like, the worst designs I would consider mediocre are, like, the Edmontosaurus design. Not a big fan of that. Otherwise, the rest of the design look great, or at the very least, really good. And I like the episode. I think the ones that are the best are the ones that are like have not been focused on yet, like the Gastonia, Utahraptor, the Spinosaurus, carcharodontosaurus, and like the sauropods and stuff. I think are a little bit better though, because again, it's like kind of steep for competition with T-Rex since that thing appears in literally everything. Like the Albertosaurus and T-Rex do look good though. But generally, yeah, I think this documentary is going to be great. Still can't wait to see more about this. Can't wait for the release. What are your guys' opinions on it? What do you think that last episode is going to be? What do you hope it is? Is there any dinosaurs that you like? Is there any dinosaurs you're unhappy with? Just generally, what is your opinion on the documentary? I think it's going to be great. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.